What is up, guys? Welcome back to the podcast. And today's gonna be very, very short. One game to review, but the game that we gotta review is a lot to talk about. It is Canada versus Sweden, and technically Sweden's the home team. What it says, but it was in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, and Team Canada's in it. So definitely not a Sweden home game. But anyways, yeah, we're gonna review yesterday's lone game. It's a Four Nations opener. Very, very interesting. I'll tell you my thoughts, my opinions, all that stuff. And so, yeah. But before we get into that, we have to do a couple of shout outs as per usual. Here, go follow my X page if you haven't already, X/Twitter. The Intermission Podcast. I repost things on there really frequently and talk about the world of hockey. That's the most you're gonna hear about me talking and reposting about stuff about the world of hockey. Besides this podcast, or outside of this podcast, more specifically. Follow my Facebook if you haven't already. It's the Intermission Podcast blog on Facebook. It's the only place you get my daily NHL and USHL predictions. And it's the only place you know right before I go live. At least you turn post notifications to this YouTube channel on. You should do that if you haven't already. Go follow my Instagram, the Intermission Podcast. Go join my Discord, the Intermission Podcast blog Discord. Talk about the world of hockey in there, and right after I go live, go follow my TikTok, the Intermission Podcast on TikTok. TikTok's back in the Apple store, so you can go ahead and download that if you ever deleted that and you're on iPhone or whatever, or Apple. You can download that again if you deleted it or whatever. Follow the page. And all of my social medias, my Spotify, my Twitch, my website, and everything is in the description of this podcast episode and previous podcast episodes. You can go ahead and make sure to check all that stuff out. If you haven't already done so, like this video if you haven't already, that'd be greatly appreciated. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow the podcast if you're watching this on Spotify. That would also be greatly appreciated. It's all free. Everything I'm telling you to do right now is free. I never make you guys do something but pay. The only time I'll ever do something that make you guys money is in the future if I ever do that. But right now, everything I do on here that you guys have to do is free. So, yeah, go ahead and do all that stuff if you haven't already. You don't have to, but it'd be greatly appreciated. Greatly appreciated if you were to do so. It's in the description of this podcast episode on YouTube and Spotify and previous ones. So go ahead and check that out if you haven't already. So, since we're done yapping about my own personal stuff, let's get into the Canada versus Sweden game coming into the Four Nation tournament. I had low expectations, right? But we know this game was going to be fire. We had Sweden, who was very good defensively, very good goaltending compared to Canada. It's Canada, right? McKinnon, McDavid, Crosby, Braden Point, Braden Hagel, Anthony Cirelli, Mark Stone. The list goes on and on. Your defense, Cale McCaw, Josh Morrissey, blah, blah, blah. Goaltending was definitely a concern coming into this tournament. I've already said that for Canada. Binnington's kind of a concern, especially coming into this game, but coming into this game, we'll see how he can do here versus Sweden. And then, Sweden has okay forwards. They have good wingers, but their center, they have no centers. Their center lineup is terrible. The defense is really good. The goaltending they're here, but I had low expectations for the Four Nation tournament. But coming into it, Bell Center in Montreal, Quebec, Canada, where the Canadians normally play, was electric coming into this game. That place was on fire, dude. That really got me hyped up for the tournament. You know what? I said, this tournament, this crowd's on fire. These players look like they want to be there. They look like they want to win. They look like they actually want to try their hardest, which the All-Star game, they never looked like they did. You never know. Maybe this could actually hit. We'll have to see. The Canada versus Sweden starts off here. Canada gets a power play about 40-ish seconds into the game. And then this Canada power play, you got Nathan McKinnon, who's a reigning MVP winner, the Hart Trophy winner, and might do it again. McDavid, who's the best player in the world, and Sidney Crosby, who's been one of, if not the best players in the NHL for the past, a decade and a half. About 2 decades, honestly, at this point. And Cale McCaw, who's either the best or second best defenseman in the NHL. He has been the best defenseman in the NHL for the past couple of seasons. Besides last year, that was Glenn Hughes, and this year he's really bounced back again. Arguably the best defenseman in the league again. All in that same power play unit. So that's what you don't want to do if you're Sweden. But you got McDavid to Crosby. Crosby gets it back to McDavid. Back to Crosby. A beautiful no-looker right between the Sweden defender over to McKinnon. He pots it home. It's a power play goal. Okay, listen to this. Listen to this sentence right here. It should be illegal. Nathan McKinnon power play goal assisted by Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. Less than a minute in the game. McKinnon assisted by Sidney Crosby and Connor McDavid. This power play, this team in general, is this is like if I were to go on EA NHL 25 right now and create a dream team. This is what it would be. This is exactly what it would be. McKinnon, Crosby, McDavid, Cale Makar, then probably like somebody else. And Sam Reinhart's on the power play, who is a special teams beast. What are you supposed to do if you're a penalty killer against that? Just don't take penalty. That's what it is. Canada gets on the board really early. Bell Center still electric. That draw is up to Braden Point. Braden Point, Marchand, 2-1-1. Braden Point over to Marchand. He has an open net. He hasn't missed. 2-0. Canada leads 13-15 in the first period. Canada's got 2 goals before Sweden's able to muster a shot. Jonas Brodin, a Minnesota Wild representative. First goal of the tournament for him. This is by Victor Hedman and Raymond. 9:33 in the second period. Binnington, it looks like it maybe got tipped, but either way, Binnington looks like he had a late reaction to it. He might have been screened. Either way, a blast past the ear. Jordan Binnington, 1-goal game. Mark Stone, Crosby somehow finds a way to fight off a defenseman, finds Mark Stone, and I got 180-degree turn, beautiful on his forehand. Stone pots it home. 17:28 into the second period, so about 2 minutes and 32 seconds left in the second period. 3-1 Canada leads heading into the third period. 1:54 in the third period. Adrian Kempe from the Kings. First goal of the tournament was Erik Karlsson and Ekholm early. Joris and Ek, another Minnesota Wild representative. First goal of the tournament was just by Brad Lucas Raymond. Lucas Raymond's second assist of the night in the tournament. 8:59 third period. It's a tie game, right? And it goes to overtime. Tied at 3 apiece. We're like, Canada was controlling the game for the first period, or maybe period, and about first period. And then it was very, very good game. Bell Center is electric. These teams are so fun to watch, bro. We've been robbed of this for years. This like Olympic best on best country versus country thing. They've needed to do this for a long time. Since it's actually coming into play, this is significantly better than the All-Star game. The All-Star game should never see the light of day again for the NHL. This is significantly better. The players look like they want to be there. They have something to play for. Way more fun to watch. Way more action-packed. The crowd's way more into it. Everything. This feels like a real game, right? But if there was dream teams, super teams playing for the country, that's what it is. Yeah, it's crazy. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's so much fun. Sadly, it's only a 9-game tournament, but dude, I've got high expectations for this. So the first 60 minutes going in the overtime, I'm like, oh my goodness. This is ridiculous. So the tournament had the 3-2-1 format. If you win in regulation, you get 3 points. If you win in overtime/shootout, you get 2 points. If you lose in overtime/shootout, you get 1 point. If you lose in regulation, you get 0 points. So compared to a regular one, if you win, no matter what, you get 2 points. This one, you want to win in regulation, which I think they should do for the actual NHL, because I think that's way better than just like, you know what, there's 1 minute left in the game, we just hold the puck and go to overtime to get a guaranteed point. This one, you actually want to get the extra point in regulation if you win. So yeah, I mean, we go to overtime here. Who's gonna get the extra point? We're gonna see Canada and Sweden in overtime. We all know this is 3-on-3, but there's 10-minute overtimes. McDavid, even after the game, said, you know what, this is a cool little trial run for the NHL. They should add this because nobody wanted to see that game go to a shootout, which is so true. But in overtime, Nathan McKinnon had like 3 or 4 plays when he went coast to coast, and he did not care. Didn't really pass the puck, but in overtime, Sidney Crosby does a huge drop. He enters the zone. He does a drop pass to Mitch Marner. He walks in. He scores. Toronto Maple Leafs representative in Montreal lights up the Bell Center. And Canada goes home with 2 points. But they could have got 3, but they get 2. And gets 1. USA versus Finland played today. The game's over, but we came out review that today. But yeah, that's my thoughts, honestly. I love it. They need to keep this. Actually, they got Olympic hockey coming up, which is going to be this, but even better. So I like that too. But this idea is so much better than the All-Star break. But yeah, that's going to do it. Hope you enjoyed this podcast episode. Have a great night. Watch us live. Watch us at 11 night. Good morning, evening, afternoon, whatever time you're watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Follow the podcast if you're watching us on Spotify. Like this video if you haven't already. So post notification channel if you haven't already. And I hope you enjoyed today's episode 15, season 9. It was a bit of a shorter one, but got my thoughts of the Four Nations face-off. We'll continue my thoughts tomorrow when we review the lone Four Nation face-off game from today and tomorrow's USHL game. So, yeah, I will see you tomorrow, episode 16 of season 9. Peace.